How y'all doing? This is another episode of the It Factor. Today I have Ashley Thomas. How are you doing today? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, hi, I am Ashley Thomas. As Jeremy already mentioned, I just turned 31 years old yesterday.
Birthday, happy
Been,
birthday.
thank you. I appreciate that. Originally from Mississippi, been in Atlanta for about 9 years now. I moved out here the day after graduation to start my career in tech. So that was big for me. Um, I'm a mom, have a 3-year-old daughter. I've been in tech for a super long time, been into fitness for a very, very long time, dabbling into photography. So I'm a woman of many hats as well. But yeah, this is me, super bubbly personality, just trying to keep going, keep going up and up.
Well, that's amazing. I got you on the show. I'm glad that our mutual friend Latia got us in touch with each other. And
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
no problem, no problem. So I start off with some questions. What made you want to go into the business information systems field?
So at the time when I was considering colleges, I was mostly just considering two in Mississippi, Mississippi State and Ole Miss. And Mississippi State had what looked like a better program to me.
Mhm.
Um, I toured the school, and honestly, I tell people all the time, the first thing I say about Mississippi State is that it just felt like home. So the program was amazing. And instead of just going straight into like computer science or something similar, I wanted to have both the business side and the tech side.
Right.
So that was huge for me, and very beneficial going into my career. Um, so yeah, I just didn't want to just pursue straight tech. Having both sides of that coin was really, really, really awesome for me. So yeah, my passion for development fueled it. I
Mhm.
love I love dev, as I mentioned. I've been in tech for a long time. I actually taught myself how to code at 14. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Now, talk about what made you want to dive into tech at such a young age?
Oh my gosh. So, at that time, HTML and CSS, all of that was like kind of new.
Right.
People were creating all of these like starter, ugly looking websites,
If
teaching
you had
people
like
how to code.
MySpace and the Bebo and all that.
Yeah,
And we didn't know that we
yeah.
were developers, but I actually had a person that was on before, and she was just saying, "Yeah, we in that age group that we was developers and ain't even know it because
Yes,
I'm with you on that."
I agree. Like when we were putting together our Black Planet and MySpace pages, putting that code together in those little text boxes,
Right.
we were developing, and just like
Mhm.
you said, we just had no idea what we were actually doing and striving to be. So yeah, I got my first desktop computer, huge computer, and just started, playing around on the web, and I just fell in love with the design, the craftsmanship, how everything looked, and I'm like, I wonder if I can do that. Like I think I'll give it a shot. So I started learning the basics. There were a lot of, like I said, starter websites, and I just kind of dove into those. And as soon as I started playing around with it, I'm like, this is cool. And very analytical. It challenged me at a young age. So yeah, it was like a hobby at that time, just something to do. But I loved it. I grew to love it.
Yeah, that's real cool, man. Because I think about it too, like how I started, and I was like, "Wow, I was doing this. I didn't even know I wanted to do, like, code or try to go into."
Right.
Now, I was like, "Wow, this is what I did." And I tell kids now, like, anybody, they're like, "Man, you coding when you do this." They're like, "What?" Like, yeah, you don't even know it, do you?
Right. Right. Like that's
So
huge.
simple. Some stuff is simple. Some stuff is hard.
Some stuff. Yeah.
I
For
know.
sure.
I know me working from home, seeing my girlfriend. She like asked me from time to time. She'd be like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I show her. She's like, "I don't know what's going on." Then when I explain it, she's like, "Oh, okay." And I still be like, "She probably don't understand." But if I
Yeah.
sit down with her and walking through it, I was like, "Hey, this is this." Oh, so yeah, it's always amazing. I like to. What have you learned from working at all your previous jobs, leading to your now job at Home Depot?
Wow. So many things. So, like I said, I started my career in 2011, and so been in the game for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
My first role was at a very small design studio in Kennesaw. So from that particular role, I learned never be afraid to want more. Even though I was young at like 22 years old, just starting in my career, that business was very, very small and it was very mom and pop-ish. So, there were certain, I guess, things about a smaller business that a larger corporation didn't have.
Right.
Benefits, things like that. And I'm like, I'm getting into this age now where I'm about to be a wife. I know I want to be a mom someday. I need a little bit more. So I had to tell myself, Ash, it's okay to just leave this behind because you want more. Never stop striving for greatness. The importance of constructive criticism. Oh man, that's, as a developer,
you need it.
You need it. We have to have it. It's hard sometimes to hear, but as a developer, like, it is so necessary. And at that point in time, I was working with 3 other men. I was the only female, only Black person on my team as well.
Same.
So
me now.
Yeah, that hurt. So to already be a minority and female, that was huge. And just professionally, that constructive criticism from my boss at the time. I remember him. I remember being in a meeting with him, and I was speaking to him. And of course, me being from Mississippi, I have a Southern drawl. I have a little bit of an accent. And I said, ask, when I was trying to say ask. And he corrected me, but in a nice way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I never really realized just how important, being able to speak efficiently and fluently so that people can understand you is. And that was big for me. That stuck with me for the rest of my life. Like, Ash, you got to make sure, you're eloquently being able to enunciate your words, especially as a developer. You said it already, trying to explain to somebody else what it is that you're doing. You have to be able to articulate that.
That's Monday through Friday. Trying
to
like, look, man, especially working from home now, it's like, hey, how you doing? What you working on today? This is what I'm working on. And it's kind of like everybody will say, at first when I started my job, I was like, kind of like, first off, I'm the only Black male on the team, only Black man on the team, like Black person in general. And then on top of that, it's just the fact that I was like, so are y'all grading me on my work? Or like, what am I supposed to be doing? What's going on? Then my boss decided, I was like, look, just do your work. You'll be fine. Like, if you need help, let me know. You don't have to know everything. Everybody in here don't know everything. People that's been here 20 years don't know everything. But one thing I can tell you is just do your best. That's it. So I kind of stick with that. I kind of stick with that from now on. But as far as them asking me, people will be like, I did this, and I'm working on this. And I'm like, I'm working on just this one thing. And I'm actually doing some training. Oh, okay. And I found out that it's no problem with, I'm not going to be like that person and say I'm doing all this. Because sometimes one person just working on one thing. They just say they're working on multiple things to sound like they're doing a lot. So
Exactly. No, I have a one-track mind. I need to focus on this, get it done before I move on to something else. Otherwise, it's just going to be a disaster. Right. Yes.
Real quick, man. So have you ever thought about bonding your fitness with tech? How would you do that?
You know what? I don't think I've actually really just sat and thought about it. I think if I were to just really think about it for a minute, I could get my creative juices flowing and figuring it out. But for right now, I think I like keeping them separate. Those are two completely separate passions of mine. Again, I got into fitness around 13, 14 as well. So, I love them both for very different reasons. And I don't think I would want to merge the two right now. I just want to kind of keep them separate. But that's a good question.
That's crazy though, because everybody answer like that. Like, I want to keep it separate, and I respect it. I mean, I can understand completely, because I feel like you gotta have a norm to your life, and everything can run together. Because that's kind of how it can run together if you do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think just kind of merging them together, it might be a little bit more overwhelming than what I want it to be. I'm just like, let's just keep them separate. Keep my fitness over here. I love it for this. Keep my dev over here. I love it for this. So who knows? Maybe one day.
So what are some of your goals you want to achieve down the line?
Man, so of course, technology is advancing literally every single day. We have all of these new frameworks and libraries, and it can be a little overwhelming too. But that's a huge goal of mine, is to never stop learning. So I definitely want to get into the SEO analytics side of things, and further my knowledge of a lot of these new frameworks and libraries that have come out. So that's a big goal of mine. And to join and volunteer in more organizations that are geared, for us as
Yeah.
Black developers. I had the opportunity to volunteer with Black Girls Code a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like,
A little bit of experience.
oh my gosh, it was amazing. Getting all of those little girls in the room, and they weren't all little. I think they were like 7 to 17. And it was such an amazing experience, full of energy. They're so full of life. They're so eager to learn.
Right.
And it was just a simple, like, let's create a simple web page, but to see them put their code together to help them with that, and for them to say, oh, look what I did. There's my name up there. It was amazing. It was so beautiful. So I definitely want to volunteer more with them. And there's a wonderful organization here called Dev Color. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. I may have. Dev Color, that I want to really kind of dive into, and hopefully do some meetups with them. But yeah, just really getting myself out there to get into more of these organizations, since they're really coming about. Right. We're seeing a lot more of them now. And to not let fear stop me from showcasing my work. I think sometimes we can get so caught up in this has to look perfect. If I'm going to put it on the web, it has to look perfect. Got to be, everything has to be in place. It got to be beautiful. Yeah. And you can become fearful because everybody's a critic these days. Everybody's going to have something to say, but it's
right.
Yeah.
Like me starting this show, I expected to grow, and keep growing, but I started to focus see people like us and, the business, tech world, entertainment. And I was like, I didn't have this while I was in college. So I was like, if it was one guy when they're talking about something like that I'm thinking I'm majoring in, it'd make me want to, go harder at it and say, okay, I'm gonna reach out to this guy. One day I can be on his show, or one day he can help me out with this. So I kind of saw that come to fruition earlier this week, where a young lady sent me a message on LinkedIn, and she was like, hey, can you come talk to some college students about so-and-so? And long story short, I want to be a college professor. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead, go talk to them.
Yes.
And I was like, she want to talk to me, little old me. You seen my show. Thank you, So that made me excited. And it's even people like, even when they come in or even talk to me or anything, it's kind of like made me like build some more confidence and like, wow, doing the right thing. Like, it's good. Okay, cool. Keep this going.
Absolutely, yes. And being a light, that's important. And it seems like you're doing just that with what you have. Like, seeing comments like that and getting that kind of feedback, that lets you know that, okay, I'm doing something right. I am exactly where I need to be. And like you said, little by little, it builds that confidence, and you want to showcase more. You want to put more out there,
right.
It's like, because you never know who you're touching or who you're influencing. So yeah, that's dope. I hope that goes well. That's dope, man.
Thank you. I'll definitely let you know, because that's funny, because when I first started, I was like, males, all male. And then one day, one of my friends that I went to school with, she was like, hey, well, have the females on there, because we did it. I was like, yeah, I'm getting to that. But I was thankful for that, because it made me look like, look, man, don't just get your friends, your family, people you can reach out to super fast. It's like, don't be scared to step out. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do it. So I'm glad I can get like all people on the show.
Nice.
So,
nice.
What's your it factor? Why you do what you do?
My compassion and giving nature. For everything that I touch, development, fitness, and photography. I love helping people. I love being able to bring joy to people and put smiles on people's faces. It has always been my prayer to continue to be a light and a valuable resource to people, no matter who I touch, no matter who I come across, people around me. And especially in dev, because you don't see a lot of us in dev. Like we've already talked about, sometimes it's just one Black developer, maybe two if you're in a good company, and we need to see more of us. We need to be able to reach out and help one another and bring one another up. And like, if I can do that for somebody,
Right.
I'll know, like I said, that I've done something right. So that would be my it factor and why I do what I do, so that I can definitely continue to lend that helping hand, to continue to be a giver, to help where I can in any fashion,
Mm.
for sure.
Yeah, you're doing a great job of it. I already know.
Thank you.
You
I
said
appreciate it.
Batia telling me stuff. I'm like, yeah, I like her. She all right with me. And she's like, you should have her on the show. I was like, yeah, I'm good on the show. I'm gonna reach out to her because I just wanted
Ah,
to build that connection so that we
yes.
can keep it growing. And like anything I had or anything you may have, you can like reach out to me. I definitely can get involved or something like that. So,
Absolutely. And thank you. Now that we have this connection, hopefully it can just continue to grow and build, Absolutely. I'm here for it.
so lastly, do you have any questions for me?
Um, Questions for you. Where do you see the it factor going? How do you see it growing
See,
and getting even bigger?
okay, so I definitely see it. I'm booked to November. Thank God. Thank you so much.
Yes, blessings.
But I see it just growing. Being able to bring on that black face in, like I said, not only the tech field but business field. Any field you're in. I'm kind of reaching out to some of everybody now. But I'm starting to see it to build as to like a podcast that people can see tech because it's not one. I really try to research it and stuff like that. Or it's like they'll come about and then they'll fall down. So I kind of want to just keep it growing. Any of those that have fallen down, they can come on and kind of like we can join together and just keep it growing together. So I see it as like a melting pot to keep something growing that's need to be seen. Because like I said, I started it all because I was that student that was in class listening. I was at the whole HBCU, and I can say I
Mm-hmm.
only had like 3 or 4 black professors. That's another reason why I want to be a professor.
Yeah.
But I saw that, and it built a light in me to say, let me be the person to let someone see. I may not be talking about code on this show, but I'll have somebody on here that we can explain it together and
Yeah.
let you know that's my profession. And you say, oh, that black guy, hold on, he a developer for so-and-so? Oh, she a developer? How they did that? So I want the kids to be able to see that to say, okay, man, or anybody, you could be 50, 60 years old trying to learn how to develop and get in touch with me. So I built the show so that it can be that stepping stone to let you know, like, you can do it too. So that's my thing.
Awesome. That's beautiful. I love that. I love it. And if you could give one piece of advice for anybody that's up and coming in dev, maybe a college student, maybe the college student you're going to speak with soon, if you could give them one piece of solid information about how to make it in this industry, what would you tell them?
How making it in this industry, it's multiple things, but I say 3 things that stick with me. I'm an athlete, so this stick with me from one coach that told me keeping the main thing, meaning keeping it focused on what
Right.
you see at the end of the light and who you could help, and not always making it about you, because it's not about you. The bigger picture is to help multiple people, especially in the black community. We definitely need to help our people. So that if I'm in the tech field, medical field, whatever field, it's like no matter what you're doing, remember that you got to help somebody and be that light to be able to help them grow so that you can see it. You're going to get so much from helping somebody else, and it's going to build you up in the process. So that's all I will always say. Keep the main thing the main thing. Very simple. I'm from the South, and that really means a lot. It took me a long way.
Absolutely. That's great. That's awesome. I think that's all the questions that I have. Do you have anything else for me?
Lastly, I would say, okay, if it's anything in your life that you could change, what would it be?
About myself, about the industry, about anything in particular?
Anything.
One thing I would change
In the
with
world.
everything that's going on, of course, with everything that's going on in this world right now, the one thing I would definitely change is praying that everybody can be more loving, more compassionate, more kind towards one another. There's so much injustice. There's so much loss. There's been so much grief. There's been, so much going on in the world right now. And I feel like we don't do enough to show people while we're here on this side, how much we love them, how much we care, how much, they mean to us. Usually we want to say all those things when somebody passes on, when they transition, but no, give people their flowers while they're here. help people out as often as you can. You know, don't be hesitant to lend a helping hand and continue to fight. We need to continue to fight for those things that we're proud of, those things that we stand for, what we're all about, especially in the African American community. There's so much going on, but if we can continue to rise up and band together, we can be an unstoppable force. But we just have to do that. We got to continue to do that, and you know, just continue to do our best as a community to do what we know and love and what we know is right. So that'd be what I would change. More love,
More love.
more love,
Yeah.
more compassion, more kindness. Yes, for sure.
We need it. We need it.
We need it.
But
Definitely.
yeah, thank you for the day. Thank you for the person you are. And that's another episode of It Factor. And I'll be getting back with you soon. And
Absolutely.
But thank you for the day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. And you take care, and much love. Much love to you.